Lisa, put her to the test. Lean in with Lisa, so get it off your chest. It's more than just a trend, cause everyone's her friend. So lean in with Lisa, spend your time with Lisa. Lisa's got something to say. So reach out to Lisa every day.
Hey everybody, I am so excited. People have requested more of Kenny Morse. So let's give them what they want. Here he is, Kenny Morse.
So reach out to Lisa every day.
And I had to say, you asked about my conversation with Jennifer Lawrence, Lisa. And when we were in between stuff, which took a long time, one of the conversations I actually had with Jennifer Lawrence was, it got a little deep. And she said, well, it's great to do this, but what happens is that there's Jennifer Lawrence, and then there's J-Law, and there's the person that everybody else sees. That's not me.
Wow.
That's the person I am in their eyes. And she said, you can actually see the transition in their humanity when you see them coming towards you. If they have, there's a change in the look in their eye between what they were doing and thinking and feeling to when they suddenly recognize you as somebody who they either admire or just because of your celebrity. And it's
Unbelievable.
she described it as there's a deadness that their minds, people lose their minds. I can explain why people lose their minds when they get up on the stage this weekend at the Emmys, as you saw. And even though they have pieces of paper that they are reading, they wrote down, I didn't prepare,
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't prepare.
Right.
Which is very stupid to do. And the reason they either think it jinxed them or they're not used to public speaking. But it's a very stupid thing not to prepare. But no matter whether you prepare it or not, I've seen it on every award show I've worked on. And man, I've worked on a ton of them. When people step up to that microphone, Adam and Lisa, they go out of body. I can almost see their soul fighting to fly above. I mean, if I could see such things, but I swear that I see it where their soul is just creeping out of their body. And it's not until they take a breath and go, okay, I have to do this. There's only 10 million people watching or 20 million, whatever it is. And then they pull their act together and get it out. One of my first jobs was with Bobby De Niro, as I called him, to drop
Bobby, everyone calls him
I
Bobby.
was the production assistant on a movie called The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight.
Oh, wow.
And it was the movie that Al Pacino was supposed to do, but Francis, if you see the TV series on Paramount Plus called The Offer, which is about the making of The Godfather,
I hear it's great.
you see how Francis Ford Coppola horse traded to get Al Pacino out of The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight, and the person who ended up playing the part was Robert De Niro, and I was his driver. I picked him up at the hotel, brought him to the hotel. Those were in the days where a Teamster didn't have to do it. Only thing was, Bobby De Niro, once he got into the car,
Nothing.
He wasn't Bobby De Niro. He was the character.
Right.
Because he was into the method acting. So you didn't schmooze with him. You didn't say, so Bob, how was your night? Nope. After hours, I mean, I would see him after I moved here. I'd run into him with my father, and he would go. You ask about my last name, Adam, and he would see my father, and De Niro would go, "Shuffle, unbelievable." And by the way, I am the spitting image of my father. And when I meet somebody who's still alive, we lost my father in '93.
They go, Shaft.
When I meet somebody who actually knew him, they go, oh man, that's frightening. You look exactly like your dad.
Wow. That's creepy.
It's nice because there's still people
in a
alive
good way. Creepy in a good way.
Who knew my father.
I wish I met your dad. I heard he sounds like the greatest guy, and I know how much you loved your father. And
my father and I had a great relationship.
Yeah.
And well, listen, I can actually show you this.
Oh, look at that! There he is. There he is. Oh, wow.
So that was my father, Hal. And you talk about vanity license plates, Adam. for one of his. He was an avid golfer, and he would play out in the valley at Woodcrest. I can't remember the name of the country club. And one time he had a Nissan Maxima. I got him vanity license plates from the DMV, said GOTOHAL.
Go to Hal.
Go to Hal.
Go to Hal.
And the DMV let me, at first they questioned me, is this because they don't let dirty things in. Although
Right.
a very dear friend of mine has a license plate he snuck by the DMV, FNF405.
FNF. Oh,
FN405.
no, I love that. I love that. That's a good
Jet
one.
Harlan. But go to Hal. I believe the person who now has Go to Hal is a dear friend of mine and Barry, and he's the great reporter on KTTV, Hal Eisner.
Well, he's been around for a long time. He's like,
I've interviewed with him many times. He was the guy who was standing right here on Hollywood Boulevard when a SUV driven by a drunk driver ran up on the curb and ran him and his cameraman over. He almost died.
wow.
And yep, he survived it. A lot of broken legs and broken elbows, broken arms, and
Oh my God.
the cameraman had punctured organs, but they both survived it. And Hal is back on TV and going as good as ever. So
He's probably in his 80s, Hal.
I don't know how old Hal is, but he's ever young to me.
He's very nice. He looks like a nice man.
Yeah, both Barry and I are friends with him, and he's done pieces with Barry, and not just because Barry was in Greece, because Barry and Cindy, his wife, they're very philanthropic.
Did you see 13? Did you see the show Barry's directing?
I have seen it before. I have not seen this production for the very simple reason that my back is out, and it's been out for a while. So theater seats are not a thing for me.
No, it's not the most comfortable.
You can kind of see the chair I'm sitting in with a backrest.
Do you have a good do you have a good massage therapist?
I do have a good massage therapist, but unfortunately, due to the pandemic, it's been limited. And
right.
That's give me a little Thailand woman who's 3'3" walking on my back. I'm happy.
Well, go to Shandara. There's a Shandara on Cahuenga. I'm sure you can find somebody there.
Go there to eat.
That's my favorite.
I think the last place I went to a restaurant was after I moved back into this apartment. Barry Pearl rearranged my whole apartment because I'm messy and Barry is white glove.
Oh, wow.
He came here and he rearranged everything. And then I said, all right, I'll take you out to dinner. And this was back a year ago, September, and we were still in the pandemic. And we went to Shandara, and we were the only people in there.
Really? Oh, I love that restaurant. Alan, my producer, are you still there, or did you leave the house?
I think I got it. There I am.
Hi,
There he
Alan.
Yes.
Because it's only it's not every day you get the king of LA traffic here. So I'm gonna ask a traffic question as well.
The former. I'm with the Queen of England.
No, you're the king.
Forever the king.
There's got to be a Mr. Traffic, the new generation.
Long live the king. Well, I want to know: is there anything, any part of LA that you would say it has particularly the worst drivers?
Think of any place in LA, Alan, where the entitlement is the highest.
Okay.
You can pretty much suss that out.
Burbank, is it?
Well, no, I mean the areas of high financial earnings, whether it be in the valley or on this side of the hill, where you have the highest amount of entitlement. And it's like that great scene in Fried Green Tomatoes where Kathy Bates is waiting for the parking space. Very iconic scene for those of you who may not have seen it. And these two young girls pull in and snake it away, and she does this slow burn, and she rams into the girls, folks, and rams into it. And because after the girls got out of the car, they said, "Face it, lady, we're young and quicker." And after she rams into the car, she said, "Face it, girls, I'm older and I have more insurance." Iconic scene.
Kenny, if I didn't have to pick up my daughter from school, I would have you on another hour, but I have to leave.
I think you should go pick up your daughter. And
but I have
Adam again. I hope your daughter gets well soon.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, you're welcome.
But Kenny, you look. What am I going to? You're amazing. You're amazing in so many ways.
You can go to kennymorse.com if you want to know more about me. I don't know why you would. Why
Are
you would
you
want to know more
crazy?
about me. But
And never
Kenny Morse,
underestimate
yeah,
yourself.
at MrTraffic.com I took down because I'm not actively doing the show, or I retired from teaching in 2015. But when my phone rings and the caller ID brings up somebody I haven't talked to since God was a child, it's always the same thing.
Will you,
I got a ticket.
honey,
Oh.
will you do me a favor, Kenny? Will you please never ever unfriend me on Facebook because I love you?
Why would I unfriend you? You know,
I mean, I know you unfriended. I know you unfriended some people, but I don't want to ever be
only if they say, hey, you know, go Brandon, go. Yeah, I'll unfriend you.
Exactly.
That's correct. That's the right move.
Kenny, you got to have your own show, Kenny. I don't care what you got to have your own show.
But people wanted me to do a podcast during the COVID, and listen, I used to do this every week on television. And been there, done that.
You're the pro. I learned from the best.
Just just don't say don't say I mean, don't say like, and you're golden.
I don't have.
Don't do it with a Jewish accent because that's why I'm Morse instead of Morris.
Oi Gewalt. Oh my goodness! My dad.
Go look at BeverlySillsOnline.com.
She's my mother's favorite. My dad changed his name. He dropped the Cohen and kept the Conrad. He was doing the same thing your dad was doing back in the day. All right, listen. You blew me away today.
So much. Adam, it was more than a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for your questions and for just being a mensch. And for those of you who are Jewish impaired, what a word mensch means is a real person.
I am
ethnically Jewish. I know it all.
Jewish. He's a real mensch is Kenny Morse is a mensch. He's a mensch. Barry Pearl. Okay, so thank you. I love you,
Lisa.
I want to thank my guest, Kenny Morse, for being such an amazingly candid and genuine guy. And I also want to thank my producers, Pretty Easy Podcasts, Alan Tuzinski, Melissa Wenner, my composer, Jeff Urband, my writer, Adam Labarkin, and to all of you, thank you all again for leaning in with me today. And until next time, leaning out.
Lean in, Lisa, put her to the test. Lean in, Lisa, so get it off your chest. It's more than just a trend, 'cause everyone's her friend. So lean in with Lisa, spend your time with Lisa. Lisa's got something to say. So reach out to Lisa every day.